Hello and welcome to the Business Spotlight interview series. I'm your host, Barrett McDonald, and today I am joined by Marc Almon, who is a film producer and co-owner of the Lighthouse Arts Theatre here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Marc, thank you so much for joining us today. Would you like to kick things off with a brief background as to who you are and what it is you do?
Sure. I'm a social entrepreneur and film producer who likes to build big things. I have a background of placemaking and creating spaces for artists and being an arts advocate that in a way that has allowed for us to build some pretty cool facilities in downtown Halifax at the Lighthouse Arts Center. And I'm working on a number of other projects that will advance causes that I'm very passionate about, including affordable housing for artists. So that gives you a little background on my on how I've come to be in this role that I am in now. So
Absolutely. Yeah. All of us have been on various winding journeys. Very rarely
yes.
is it just a point A to point B
Yep.
process, which is good. So what would you say have been your biggest learnings as an employer since you began in business?
For me, it's I would say that it's about being resilient and trying to be as strong a leader as you can in terms of working with your team and working through adverse circumstances and events. And for example, with the Lighthouse Arts Center, we had to go through COVID. That was a very difficult time for us. Luckily we weren't fully open at the time, and so we were able to work around some of the difficulties, but it did mean a massive drop in revenues for us when we were just first opening, and that took a lot of rethinking of the business plan and a lot of strategizing, and this is where I've been really lucky to work with some very strong team members, including my partner Rob Power.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's good to surround yourself with good people. So in that vein of thinking, what qualities do you look for in employees and how do you foster a positive and productive work environment?
Well, I really try and trust my employees, and allow them a measure of responsibility and freedom that comes from working at an organization where you kind of create your own destiny. And our organization has been really like Lighthouse Arts Center, for example. We've been really branching out into programming and developing programs. We have the Link Up program that's run by my colleague Ryan Veltmeyer, and this program helps provide leadership training and entrepreneurial support for Black artistic entrepreneurs. And we've just recently worked out an arrangement with TD where they've sponsored a number of our workshops, and so we're very proud of that. And so I just look at what Ryan's doing, and I'm saying that's exactly what we want to see, is like that willingness to try and break through the barriers and build something. I get really excited when I can work with collaborators like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Surrounding ourselves with inspirational people is key in
Mm-hmm.
making everything happen. So if you had to start from square one in business all over again, what would you do differently the next time around?
I would seek more mentorship. I think I've been self-employed now since I was 26 years old, and I'm 45 now, so for nearly 20 years.
Okay.
And I'm proud of that. But at the same time, part of me does look back. I wish I had had maybe more experience working in other environments, sort of training, being in a more of a training arrangement. Um, Trying to surround myself with more mentors in their early days. Not being afraid to reach out, and ask for help. Those are some of the things that I wish I had done more of when I was first starting out.
Absolutely. It was said to me at one point in time that being a business owner is one of the loneliest things you can do. And because we always assume that no one else out there is experiencing the same things we are. So to create that sense of community and have those conversations is a good way. And I think that there's a lot of positive steps happening that way, which is
Yep.
helping prevent some of the burnout that some of us entrepreneurs might be feeling
Yeah,
as
that
we
burnout is a
head down that
real
path.
real thing to be worried about, and I've gone through it, and self-care is so important. So I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah. So while we're on that topic, how do you balance your personal life with the demands of running a business, or in your case, multiple businesses?
It is a bit of a challenge. It just, for me, I have good people in each organization that I'm working with, and they recognize that I'm being pulled in a lot of different directions. So it means good communication, regular communication, and a clear understanding of responsibilities and roles. And I'd say that it's just important to really have um a group backing you that can accommodate you know big changes suddenly.
Yeah, you have to know that things are going to keep going when you walk away, or you never fully walk away. So
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
comes back to the piece of fostering some good employees and some surrounding yourself with some good people. So what
Yeah.
would you say are some of the common misconceptions about running a business, and how do you address them?
Well, certainly, being an entrepreneur gives you a great deal of freedom, and that is something that I'm very cognizant of, and humbled by, and thankful for. um at the same time, I mean, I think the misconception is that entrepreneurs can solve problems by throwing money at it, can solve problems like or that they have the internal capacities, and competencies in order to solve the problems that they face. That there's just such a myriad of problems that you're like in running a business, or my case, shooting a film, or launching an art center. Like these kind of projects are such complexity that you I know it's I think people think of entrepreneurs as lone wolves, and I guess this keeps on coming back to the same theme here about surrounding yourself with good people and making sure that you're supported, because it's a very difficult to do all on your own. And I think people tend to think of entrepreneurs as being these very separate beings who have these kind of competencies that a lot of other people don't have. But a lot of it comes down to, like, people who were just willing to take on more risk than others, and are maybe able to um delay gratification for long periods of time.
Yeah.
You have certain qualities that an entrepreneur has, but it's not easily defined, and it's not easy for people to put one entrepreneur or a series of entrepreneurs in a box and say that's what an entrepreneur is or does.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
all kinds of different shapes and sizes and stresses and motivations that make us all tick and make things interesting. So
that's right.
that's a good summation of some of it. So Marcus, we're kind of wrapping up here.
Sure.
When you're thinking of someone watching this back, and maybe it's you 25 years ago before you went on this journey, what's kind of the one big piece of advice you'd like to share, or to push someone over that edge to have them make that leap?
um I think it's very important for people uh to come up with an original idea, and try and, like, find something that animates them and gets them out of the bed in the morning, and it excites them. If you find something like that, then that's very valuable. And stress test the idea, and really try, like, be constantly pitching ideas, way, because, like, that's how you hone, great ideas, is just by constantly pitching them with, and getting a sense, like, oh, maybe I'm onto something here, because people keep on responding positively to this particular suggestion of mine, or this particular idea. So that's what I suggest to people, is that, like, just constantly be stress testing and thinking about how you can improve things for people. And if you can grab onto a concept where you're improving people's lives, and really doing something to give back and provide purpose for yourself, that's very special. And I hope that, you know, a person who makes the leap as an entrepreneur can find that sense of why and that sense of destiny.
Absolutely. I think that that's great advice to kind of end everything on. And
Mhm.
Marc, thank you so much for your time today. It was great meeting you and learning more about your entrepreneurial journey. To everyone watching, I look forward to seeing you on our next episode. Everyone have a great time. Thanks, Marc.
Thank you.